Africa Travel and Tourism.
I am Dr. Natasha Blanton.
And I'm Mark Blanton, and the owners. And we have amazing packages coming to Johannesburg. Everything we do is 5-star. Everything is private. And what else, Tasha?
Everything we do is exclusive and made just for you.
So all I can say is go to our website, therealsouthafrica.com. We'll see you here.
Make sure you pick up my 2 books that's in Amazon right now. The first one is Passive-Aggressive Racism and the System of White Supremacy. And I talk about in that particular book how the system of white supremacy really runs on our daily lives here in America. In our latest book, 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind, we go through those steps to try to deprogram you from the system of white supremacy. Make sure you can pick up those books on Amazon.com.
Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
At African Diaspora News Channel, we cover stories that don't receive mainstream attention, and we serve as the voice to the global Black community. We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media, connecting the African diaspora one story at a time.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
Peace, family. My name is Vicki Dillard for African Diaspora News Channel. Thank you so much for tuning in, beloved. As you come in, be sure to come in giving us a big thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like and be sure to share the broadcast. We ask that you do that, of course, because it helps us to get the message out, and it helps and assists us to expand our voice and impact. And how many of you all know that's so very important in times like these, where in this war against the oppressive class and white supremacy, you know, we're going to have to do for ourselves. And that includes getting our message out. Talk black to me, somebody. So family, hopefully as you come in, you be sure to thumbs up and share the broadcast. We actually do that early on because some folks, I'm sure, was like, well, why do we thumbs up early on? Because in modern media, somebody say modern, that's supposed to help generate other notifications, family. So don't be thinking in your head, well, I'm going to wait till it's over to decide whether or not. Stop being silly. Talk black to me. You're going to have to start doing more better than that and start thinking through the decisions that we're making. Yes? Okay, family, without further delay, certainly you all have been hearing a whole lot about Congresswoman Representative Jasmine Crockett, right? And I'm sure you all have heard about some of my wonderful colleagues here who have been discussing this issue, I believe, including our brother Phil Scott, of course, and some of the others. Now, you all understand and know that I regularly discuss the goings on of politics. That's what I do, what I've done for years. And there have been really no reason, because so many people have been doing such an amazing job in covering this woman. But the reason why I want to comment on her at this particular time is because I want you all to understand something, because we don't want to miss this opportunity to continue to smash the gas on our just and righteous demands for reparations. We're not letting up, family. We're not sitting on our laurels. Yes, we're not acting like we've already won the victory. No. We're just getting started. You understand? And so one of the ways we have to do that is by making sure that people that come in, I believe the wording that Brother Phil, when I clicked on his video, he was saying about the Trojan horse. The big thing about that is making sure that we do not allow ourselves, yes, to become sabotaged by a Trojan horse, a red herring. What do I mean when I use such language, a red herring? That means somebody that's fake, somebody that's brought in the ranks to derail and to sabotage. Just because somebody is using certain types of language, acting like that they're trying to engage with us, family, doesn't mean that they're sincere. Now, I want you to prepare yourself here in just a moment to watch this very, very short clip. It's a couple of few second clips. And then I'm going to go through my commentary very, very briefly. And I'm going to explain to you here in just a moment, again, why. So there's one clip recently that's been going around after President Trump gave his address to Congress. And she was commenting around that time. This comment that you're getting ready to see, she made the comment around that time. Yes. Then you're going to see another few second clip of her speaking, which is absolutely not reflective of the energy that's coming from those of us who are foundational Black Americans, and those of us, whether you go with that term or not, you know who you are, those that are entitled, Black Americans that are entitled to reparations and justice here in the United States of America, those of us that are responsible for the building of this country. You understand that she's not like us for real. So I want you to prepare yourself, family, in just a moment to watch this clip, but I need you to understand why I'm bringing her up at this time. I'm bringing her up at this time because Congress is in a unique position, and she is a congresswoman. Yes? What does that mean? It means that she is a lawmaker. Are y'all listening? I said it means that she is a lawmaker. That means, family, that their job is not only to talk about issues, but they're supposed to take that talking, because they're in a unique position where they've been given power to take all that talking, type it up, and put it in a bill. Let it go through the proper process of Congress, of going through the particular committees, and then putting it on the floor, and then working to pass it through the House, and then get it passed and signed off on in the Senate, and then get it before the President of the United States to sign off on it to make it official. All that talking she's supposed to be doing is to talk to the people, to get around, to rally around and to support and advocate the bill, not a study, not a plebiscite. You understand? That's the difference. Action. Can somebody put a walking emoji in the chat? Somebody put somebody in the chat running. Somebody put a rocket in the chat. Somebody put a bike in the chat. Somebody put a train in the chat. Somebody put a plane in the chat. In the chat. Why am I saying it? All that I want you to see is indicative of action and movement. Getting us real tangibles. Now, with that being said, I want you to watch this very, very disturbing brief clip.
While we may not have the numbers just yet, that doesn't mean that we don't have fight left in our bodies. And so I am going to fight him every step of the way until we get what we deserve, because it was my ancestors that built this motherfucker. Okay, I'm done now. I'm done.
Okay, did we get the other clip up, fam? That one that you just heard is her cussing. Now, did you all hear her on that clip just say, because her ancestors built this MF? But, ma'am, you're not bad because you're using that language. And that's not what's resonating with foundational Black Americans. See, people think that because we're fiery and we're animated, you all don't regularly hear us use those types of language. It doesn't mean that our language never has any spicy language in it. We use language and energy that's appropriate. That is not the typical and customary way in which you hear us speak about that type of issue. And proof positive that they don't care what we're saying and that they're truly not plugged in and have influence with us lets you all know that's why she feels comfortable saying that ghetto ratchet stuff. Now, how many of you all know that some folks like to be ratchet because it's easy and ratchet is reachable? I'm going to say it for the people in the back. I said sometimes people like to just quickly use any and everything ratchet language and ratchet energy because ratchet is reachable. It doesn't require anything of you. Now, sometimes when people hear me talk, they think that because there's animation in my voice, sometimes I elevate my voice. And because I bang my gavel, I'm a very serious diplomat and academic when I need to be. I'm a spiritual, so I use and match energy when it's appropriate. Talk black to me, somebody. That's why you don't tell me any kind of nothing is off limit. It's about what's appropriate and what's effective. And you can tell the difference, Lord, I know as I can tell, with a copycat. Used to copycats. When you're trying to steal language, you think you're going to say something similar, or you think you're going to say something that you think represents hood, and think that we're going to be tricked. But the problem with that is that over here, we're not just entertaining you, we're educating you. Many, many years ago, the great Dr. Khalid Muhammad, may he rest in peace, former member of the Nation of Islam, very prominent lecturer and speaker in the United States and around the world, was about that life for his people, notwithstanding whatever the brouhaha he ended up having later on with different groups in the NOI. In his heyday, he said something very interesting. And I'm so glad I came across that clip. Before I'm going to play you another clip in just a minute. Someone was basically asking him something along the lines, I'm paraphrasing. Somebody was asking him like something along the lines of basically, why is he so animated when he talks and joking around and stuff when he talks? And, you know, why does he seem like he's not serious on one thing, but everybody couldn't deny he's Dr. Khalid Muhammad? How many of y'all know he'll pull out a book and get professorial on you and give you the history of stuff and give you the receipts of stuff and the facts of stuff and the analytics of stuff? Talk black to me, somebody. But he had an energy to him. You know what he said? And I think that represents who I am today. And in fact, my statement, Talk Black to Me, is inspired by this man that's passed away. He said something along the lines of that we are either an alive people, we are spirited people. So no, Vic is not going to look like I'm sitting up on CNN and MSNBC. Yes, I know how to play a role, but spirit rocks with me. Because spirit know I'll do what it takes, even if you don't understand it at the moment. And I pioneer stuff, and I endure your mockery. I endure your disrespect. I endure the mistreatment. I endure the attacks until the mere mortals finally catch up. And then ninjas want to steal your magic and not give you credit for it. I don't need my name in somebody's mouth every 5 minutes. But you know when someone is honoring you and respecting you and not trying to hide your energy and disrespect you and steal at the same time. That's exactly what your congressional folks are doing. This is the exact same criticism that we had of Kamala Harris, right? When Kamala was trying to do those weird inflections with her voice, what was she saying, y'all, in his last campaign? Y'all help me. You better thank a union. Family, what did Kamala Harris say on the campaign and stuff? When she was trying to act like she was down and changing her voice and stuff. Was she on there talking about you better thank a union member? How many of y'all saw my coverage where I did a video for it? It's too many to talk about because she was fronting all the time. But how many of y'all remember when she went to this, it was a spiritual group, a church group, Church of God in Christ. She was raised in the Church of God in Christ or something like that. And she said that she sang in the children's choir in the Church of God in Christ, yeah. In the campaign speech, she said she sang in Church of God in Christ, the children's church. Kamala Harris told the world when she was on the campaign trail, all those church people that came to hear her in that particular venue, was a large venue of church people. She told the church people that she learned about a scripture she was referring to that she was fumbling and bumbling over. That she said she sang in the Church of God of Christ when she was in children's church. Family, how many of y'all remember that time when she was running previous? Wasn't she on Breakfast Club or something like that? Talking about they asked about her favorite music or something. Did she talk about, which one did she talk about? Was it Pac? I think she was talking about Tupac or somebody like that. And when folks looked at what she said, they realized her dates was off and she was lying and stuff. This is the kind of stuff we called out Kamala for. If we're not going to take it from a Brahmin Indian lady, we're not going to take it from you, Miss Jasmine Crockett. Now, family, I want y'all to get ready to watch this next clip before we get into this brief article and this point that I want to make before we get out of here. Yes, I won't be before you long, but I will be strong. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button and share, family. Watch this very brief clip.
How about that? It's 0. And I know people gonna feel away. Listen, all I do is give y'all facts. So you come back to me when you don't get that check and say, Jasmine, you were right. Just like y'all want to get out there and say all kinds of, other stuff. But come back, because you're getting 0. I know these people. I work with these people. These people is not about this life, and they don't care about you.
I know y'all gonna feel away, but you gonna come back. Girl, sit down. We don't do it like that. That's not us. You copycatting all the wrong ways. Your energy is off. We don't talk like that. We don't get down like that. The way in which you're doing it, Jasmine, is inappropriate. You're doing it as a trick. Do y'all understand that? She's doing it to net us in, to woo us in, to lure us in without any real action. What are you talking about, Vicki? Isn't it good, Vicki? Some of you might be saying that she said that my ancestors built this MF. Let me tell you something. It's not good when you don't have a bill on the table or propose, ma'am. That energy of MFing and cussing and disrespecting your ancestors in that context. You're only honoring what you're doing if you actually when you really take real action, ma'am. All that extra stuff comes when you receive a whole bunch of other opposition once you've taken definitive action. Do you understand? We got you there not to talk like that with no action. You see how that works with no action? How many of y'all saw my coverage the other day? Of course, y'all know I've talked about the California reparations stuff a long time and several of my colleagues as well, apparently. But I want you all to know, of course, I've been talking about reparations for many, many years, but I'm talking about in recent history. How many of y'all saw the other day, right here on this network, go through the live videos, and I want you all to look through the live videos and see my most recent. I'm trying to see. Look, I ain't got time to click my. I'll be trying to look at the chat, but I don't have time to look at the chat. I still don't have time right now because I'm fixing to read you an article. But I'm trying to remember the name of the video I did about the California legislature. And okay, here I have it in my notes. Legislative Black Caucus is accused of stealing California reparations. I'm hearing directly from people on the ground in California about some of this stuff. The same way I gave y'all coverage on Chicago directly from the ground, right? How many of y'all know, for example, when we broke the news about them Ukrainians and $15,000 proposals that the Ukrainian women was making to the FBA brothers so they didn't have to get swooped up by ICE for emergency man. How many of y'all know we've been talking about Brandon Johnson for a long, long, long time, and before him, which I'm gonna get into her later on. At some point, I got some news to break about them in a few days. Lightfoot and Stop. How many of y'all know we were giving them that work since her and Stop? Before then, watch this. I want you all to understand, I'm bringing those different cities up with those different issues because I'm trying to get you all to understand that we've been exposing the Democrat Party for a long time and how they continue to ignore our voices and demands. Some of you all are saying, Vicki, it's good that she said that her ancestors built this MF, even if she used a cuss word. You're missing the fact that she's trying to use a cuss word to scapegoat action. To get us real tangibles. All she is doing is blowing hot air into the atmosphere. That's it. Watch this. I cannot overemphasize what I'm about to say right now. I've been talking about reparations for many years on multiple platforms and networks. Other independent black grassroots voices have been discussing reparations for a long time. Just last year, I went to Washington, D.C., along with my brother Tariq Nasheed and some of the other wonderful grassroots voices. Yes, I gave a reparation speech. I played it on my platform at VickiDillard.tv some time back. Tariq had it up on his platform. Shout out to Brother Phil. He played my speech some months back here on this network, so be sure to look for it, family. How many of y'all saw my full speech on reparations right here on African Diaspora News Channel? If I said that some of us have been talking about reparations already, and we already know what the agenda is, and we already have connections to the streets, we already have connections to the BGR, Black grassroots, we already have connections to the people. Do you all wonder why they keep ignoring us? We don't need you to speak for us. It's the same thing I said yesterday in yesterday's broadcast. If you didn't see my live broadcast on Stephen A. Smith humiliating the Democrat Party live on The View, and they cut to break real quick because he was humiliating them so bad, watch yesterday's live from me that I did yesterday, the one on Stephen A. Smith. Go through the videos, family, and watch it. Watch this. I have no love for Django Stephen A. Smith. But in that instance, he was telling the truth about the Democrat Party. But at the same time, while he was telling the truth about the Democrat Party, one of the criticisms he made, he said, had to do with the fact that he said there was no voice for the Democrats. He said that's the reason why he's in the news, because the Democrats don't really have a profound voice advocating issues that have to do with the working class and the common folk, in so many words. On his face, it seems like that part was true, but it's not true. You know why Stephen A. Smith is tripping? You know why he said they forgot the people that brought them there? Do you all know why the Jasmine Crockett's of the world and the others like them are saying now, Representative Presley, now she's trying to reintroduce a tired study on reparations again? They knew that was the issue that they abandoned. How do they know that's the issue that they abandoned? Because they listened to us and they know it came from us. They know we're so powerful and so influential. The very cities and mayors that I brought up a minute ago, like in Chicago, they obstructed and sabotaged you, and I'm not going to let you forget it, to prevent you from coming to the meetings. They tried to silence you. When you all threatened to humiliate them during the DNC in Chicago, they seriously considered having a digitized convention instead of a live one. That was because of you. I'm bringing that up to say, Stephen A. Smith, you're wrong, baby. It's not that there's not a voice. Stephen A. Smith is also ignoring voices that are already speaking. You're rejecting the voices that are speaking it because you are still trying to maintain the gatekeepers for the system that shouldn't be, the powers that shouldn't be, and the establishment. And that's where you and I come in, family. That's where you come in to demand that they let the voices that speak for you speak. That's where you come in. When I was saying, where in the world was Congress at holding hearings when a former Israeli consulate said that the threat to her country are Black American youth? But they were holding all these other hearings for other groups. We should have been demanding a hearing for that. That's up to you all to say, no, we already know what the narrative is. We already know what we want. We know how to articulate and speak for ourselves. Vicki and others spoke in Washington, D.C., just down the road from where you work, Miss Crockett. We don't need a knockoff to speak for us. They're doing it because they are the ones silencing us. They are the ones that want to continue to keep our voices shut down. And they want to continue to play games, and we are not going to let them. I want to remind you all something. My time is almost up, but before I get out of here, I want to remind you all something. Can we pull up, team, the article that I submitted on James Clyburn? This is very important. Y'all know I'm going to connect the dots. I'm going to take you back to the past. I'm going to give you historical context to what's going on right now, and I'm going to connect some dots because I need you all to understand something. Some of you all weren't paying attention, or you weren't paying close enough attention. Can we get that pulled up, team? I don't know if it's up or not. Let me see. I don't know if it's up or not, but this is an article that I want you all. Yes, okay. Thank you. I want to remind you all of something. What does this headline say? This is from the Griot. And by the way, before I read the article, y'all see where it says the Griot? The Griot is supposed to be a black print publication, right? The Griot blocked me a few years ago. Ain't that strange? So-called black media voices, whether they print or whether they cable, or if it's the former White House spokesperson that had me blocked. Don't y'all find that weird? Thank you. The article is up. The Griot, they got me blocked too. Just keep that in mind. I just wanted to throw that out there too. That tells you everything you need to know about how these establishment publications are trying to shut down those that actually speak for the streets. But look at the headline. Congressman what? James Clyburn challenges reparations despite 2020 presidential candidates being open to the idea. Now look at that image that you're looking at. Isn't it a contrast to this white and black, two Democrats? And they got the most melanated black, one of the most long-serving, most powerful congressmen to be the one to come out to say hell no to reparations. Y'all see that? What's the date on that article, family? Y'all be thinking I'm kidding with you. Do you all see how they targeted us for a long time? I did a broadcast the other day reminding you all of 2019 when Joy Reid was on MSNBC and specifically called out FBA and reparations to sabotage us. Remember? Look at the date on this article, family. I just want y'all to know Vicki ain't never making it up, baby. Y'all see that? Briefly. 2019. It says in the wake of at least a few 2020 presidential candidates. Y'all see that? That's when Biden first ran. This last time, and then he actually won. Watch this. In the wake of at least a few 2020 presidential candidates coming forward in support of using reparations to lessen racial inequality, House Majority Whip James Clyburn has pushed back, stating he takes issue with the idea. Somebody say, your congressman, your lawmakers that's supposed to be doing what you sent them there to do, telling you what they ain't going to do and what they're not even going to try to do. Watch this. According to The Hill, Clyburn, a South Carolina Democrat who also happens to be the highest ranking African-American congressman, says he thinks, y'all listen, quote, pure reparations would be impossible to implement. I know y'all like, Vicki, you've been covering this. I'm going to keep covering it. Because I want you all to know this is the real thinking of your Congress people, your lawmakers, and we're not having it. And this is a warning, respectfully, to Miss Crockett and those of her ilk. What else did he say? And believes that giving any sort of tax incentives to developers who work in low-income neighborhoods is just what? Smoke and mirrors. So to the degree that he wasn't even for reparations checks to all of us, where all of us are getting reparations checks, FBAs and so forth like that, when folks were coming up with alternative ways of getting us tangibles, like in the low-income neighborhoods getting tax incentives and all that, he said, oh, that's just smoke and mirrors. Y'all see that? This devil was trying to sabotage every which way folks were coming up with tangibles to get into our hands. Watch this. In previous elections, neither Hillary Clinton or former President Barack Obama expressed support for reparations, but the perspective on this issue appears to be shifting. Y'all see that? Among major Democratic candidates for the upcoming 2020 race. I have to remind you that we set the tone, so much so that many of your former Democrat presidential candidates were on our side. Was Rowland pushing reparations? Was Joy Reid at the time pushing reparations? Was Angela Rye pushing reparations? Was some of your favorite so-called political street activists pushing reparations? No. Tamika Mallory was on a Breakfast Club dogging Dr. Umar for even talking seriously about reparations and what the Democrats didn't really do. She was defending Joe Biden. Y'all remember that? Yes, you've heard those people say speculatively, yeah, they for it. But it's not a part of their policy and it's not a part of their push. And it's not one of their non-negotiables. You see the difference? Again, no action. Senators Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren, y'all forgot that. Y'all forgot all them folks was running back in the day, didn't you? Senators Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren, as well as former House and Urban Development Secretary Julian Castro, said that they all have publicly stood in solidarity with those seeking to give reparations to Black Americans whose families were affected by slavery. Some speculate that the renewed interest in this issue, y'all pay attention to the language, that's our power, and they knew it the whole time. Keep reading, Vicki. Some speculate that the renewed interest in the issue may be due to the fact that Black voters, that was in 2020, are expected to be a key demographic in the Democratic primary, and the crowded field of candidates are likely to fight hard to win Black votes. We're good with the article for now, family, because my time is about up. Why am I getting y'all to see this article from 2019? I want you all to understand that they were nervous about the 2020 election then. They knew that the numbers were shifting amongst foundational Black Americans then. That's why they were seriously talking about it then. And then they brought out their Black bootlick to say it's impossible. And all the white ones were able to stand behind him, right? They were able to hide behind James Clyburn because the most melanated, the most longest serving, the most high ranking House of Representative congressman said no. So we gonna say no. And then come 2024. What happened, y'all? The Democrats lost the White House. Talk black to me, somebody. Do y'all understand what happens when you do the right thing long enough? The Democrats lost the White House, they lost the Senate, and they lost the House of Representatives. Because we, day by day, week by week, month by month, stayed consistent to push the issue on a grassroots level. Talk black to me, somebody. And we're going to continue to do it until we get what belongs to us. So I just want you all to, I want to remind you all that your Congress folks have no real intention of giving us what we demand, but we're going to make it so. How many of you all know that one of our ancient elders taught us that power concedes nothing without a demand, right? It never has, and it never will. So I just want the Congresswoman, ghetto ratchet, embarrassing your ancestor, Miss Crockett, to know we don't get down like that, baby. We don't need you to speak for us. We've already spoken, and we can speak for ourselves. You can bring us in. How about them apples? Because y'all steady trying to keep our voice silenced. Let me tell you something, Democrats. Your voices in Congress are effectively silenced, and in the White House are effectively silenced because you refuse to listen to us. And the more obstinate you are, the more arrogant you are, the more resistant you are to your most faithful voting bloc, the more you're going to suffer. I can't wait to see what you all have to say about it. I just want to remind you all how this went down. I want to remind you all that it's up to us to make sure that we keep this as it's an issue. It's up to us to take action, yes, and it's up to us to let them know we're gonna call you out every time. We can speak for ourselves, and we got plenty of spokespeople. They're just still trying to keep us silent because we're not controlled. That's why. But we're not gonna stop. Yes. My name is Vicki Dillard, beloved. Be sure to check me out here normally Tuesday through Thursdays live. 2 p.m. Eastern, of course, I do other international broadcasts here that are pre-recorded, so be sure to check those out. Don't miss Brother Phil's live tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. You know it's going to be fire. Family, be sure to check out my other colleagues' commentary on a regular basis. That's showing support, family. Download the app too, okay? My name is Vicki Dillard. You can follow me at VickiPlanet.com. Subscribe to my email list on my website at VickiPlanet.com. I can't wait to see you.